Hello friends, this is Cold Run. Welcome back to a blind playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail expansion, where Cryo is stunting on this dead robot, alien, regular old human in the suit will still to be determined. And we're going to continue on, pick up the pieces. Alizé regards the fallen soldier thoughtfully. Rip off his mask, I'm curious. It's clearly not a person, but it doesn't look like any automaton or Magitech weapon I've ever seen. Is it clearly not a person? I guess so. I guess we'll take your word that it's not a person in armor. As far and wide as you've traveled, though, perhaps you've encountered something similar before. Would you mind taking a closer look? It may yield some clues as to Zoraal Ja's new powers. Yeah. So it is still up in the air. Soldier's helm. It reminds me kind of the Endwalker thing, doesn't it? Of that alien race that was like, I don't remember what they were. They were like trying to kill each other. We met them in Ultima Thule. In place of where the eyes or mouth should be, you see a strange sigil on the front of the helm. What is that actually? Is it... I think it's just the upside down triangle. I think the line coming out of it is just the light. From distance, it appeared to be simple armor, but upon closer inspection, its construction is quite intricate. Maybe here's what it is. What if the circuitry we saw embedded in Zoraal Ja's body was just the start of it, and eventually it turns you into this cyborg thing? The material from which it's made is unclear, and you see no signs of a power source. And then the gun probably, yeah. It's pretty good. It's from the new Destiny season, it looks like. It looks that high-tech. The general shape of this weapon resembles a gun, but its construction suggests it's far more advanced than anything you've seen before. You know what this is? Dawntrail is reminding me of more and more? Very vaguely. We'll come back to Star Tropics on the NES. Oh, well, we gotta pause here. If any of you played Star Tropics on the Nintendo, it was a game where most of the game was puzzle solving in the in like a Pacific Island, vaguely Pacific Island themed world, hopping from island to island, different tribes and different ancient ruins and stuff like that. This is Nintendo, like 1990 or something, I don't know. And then it suddenly became an alien invasion game where you got like laser beams and like ray guns and stuff like that, and fighting aliens on like hover bikes. This is friggin' Star Tropics. That's what we're playing right now. So what do you think? It's unlike anything I've ever seen. It looks like a person, but it's clearly mechanical. Sure. It definitely has a lot of mechanical elements to it. Indeed, while it resembles a person, it has features that make it uncanny. The lack of face, not least of all. Unless that are we sure that's not just the helmet? Have we tried taking it off? Did you see any sign of a power source? So it probably doesn't run on ceruleum or any other conventional fuels. I tried channeling ether into it, but there was no response. That would seem to rule it out as an arcane entity. Yeah, that also seems to rule it out as a person, doesn't it? It's completely lifeless now, a far cry from the unstoppable enemy it was in battle. Even the material it's made of is a mystery. Rather than a metal, it's more akin to stone. Wait, haven't we seen this somewhere recently? I think I actually saw a player dressed in that sort of mask at some point at the Cacpot board, but I don't think she's counting that. We have in the Skydeep Cenote. I have... Sure? The glowing stone she's talking about. Yeah. The glowing stone is used to enter in the chamber with the gate to the Golden City. And while the soldiers are a different color, the warships are the same black as the stone of the gate itself. Yeah, so they all come from there. There has to be a connection. Let's share our observation with the others when we gather at Sunperch. And Zoraal Ja wants us to raid them, right? I guess, is he offering us a way to get up to the ship? I wonder. The sooner we get to the bottom of this mystery, the better. Here in the palace. Sun perch. With that sliced throne.
Thank you for coming, everyone. And thank you for taking charge in the relief effort. We would have fared far worse without you.
She's so serious right now.
Someone had to do it, that's all. Come, let's take stock.
In terms of casualties, at least 50 died in the attack. And many times that number are wounded. All available healers are seen to their care. Structural damage at least is limited, so essential business can be conducted without issue. That said, the people are understandably shaken. We must assuage their fears and begin working to restore things to normal as quickly as possible.
Yes. I was gonna say, I mean, the main focus is getting into the ship so we can stop it. Because otherwise they'll come back and kill us all. But I think you have to, as a leader, like in her position, you have to focus on a bunch of things at once.
Now, the most confounding mystery remains our enemy. And their mechanical soldiers created with technology that surpasses anything I've ever seen. What is their nature? And how did Zoraal Ja manage to bring them under his command? Such things remain unknown.
They emerged from the dome encasing Yasolani. We're quite certain of that much.
So he hasn't seen the connection between the Golden City just yet.
Speaking of the dome, we have some theories, I'm told.
Indeed. I would like to call upon some helpers to join the discussion.
Helpers?
May I invite them here?
By all means.
The train people? And by the way, thanks for telling me that those actually are...
Permission has been granted. You can come in.
That the trolley people actually are the reflection of these people. That is so cool. Is this the first time we've seen the reflection before the original? It probably is. At least and known about it.
Greetings, everyone.
I thought it was going to be who's the guy who's in love with Sid? In a lot of headcanons, mine included, in a lot of interpretations of this. Nero. I thought it was going to be Nero for a second. But no, it's our favorite cat boy and cat girl.
Raha!
Sorry about that.
After that long voyage, I had hoped that we might be afforded a moment's rest, but I gather circumstances are quite dire.
All is well in the Annex, never fear. I've already dealt with the most pressing matters, and others hold the fort in my absence.
Good to see you, friend.
Following the changing of Dawn servants, Galuf Ja spoke about the Golden City to his two successors. Thanks to Wuglamart, I was allowed to attend that meeting. What I heard led me to conclude that this was a matter for the students. Thus did I call upon our comrades who possess the requisite expertise. It was actually after that the dome manifested. But, based on what we know, I have reason to believe that it is connected to the Golden City.
Good. Now we're good. Now we're moving. Now we're cooking.
We're eager to help. We have limited familiarity with the situation. Might we trouble you to explain from the beginning?
It's gonna be one of those fade outs, I guess.
As you know, it was a letter I found tucked away in the Baldesion Annex that brought me to Zoraal.
I think she's gonna give the story of Dawntrail, but no, it's this part of it.
A letter from the Dawn servant addressed to my grandfather, sent some 20 years ago.
The request to investigate the City of Gold.
Indeed. The strange thing is, there was mention of neither Toral nor the city in our records. Hoping to learn the truth of my grandfather's mission, what he did and saw, I volunteered to help in the rite of succession.
Right. Right.
At the end of which, I was able to hear the tale from Galuf Ja. Like us, my grandfather went to the deepest chamber of the Sky Deep cenote. And, like us, he saw the gate to the Golden City.
Is that what you required our help with? This gate?
It was. You see, the gate was opened once in the past. And
it led to another reflection.
It what now? This was nowhere on my bingo card. Not even a little bit. I don't know why, but it just... Maybe I thought we'd been there too recently, the 13th and the 1st.
I can take the story from here. Considering my part in these affairs, I reckon maybe I'm best equipped to speak on the matter. I was there too, you see. In those ruins, together with Galuf and Galuf Ja, and what I saw that day, I'll never forget.
Another reflection. I'm bumfuzzled on that. You'll never forget, but I won't either because I'm going to see it. Young Kettenrom. Is that Galuf?
This black stone is remarkable.
I'd never seen Galuf as a young man.
If the structures in this part of the ruins were built by a completely different civilization.
It was over 1,000 years ago that the giants mined here. Their records make no mention of glowing stones.
So at the time the giants were mining, they didn't see this. This wasn't here, presumably. We'll go with the assumption it wasn't a conspiracy, that they were like lying to cover it up. When the giants were here, this wasn't here, so this has been bursting in since? Did we see young Galuf in 5 at all in any of those flashbacks? Maybe very briefly.
It harbors high concentrations of ether, and on the surface are what appear to be arcane patterns. They aren't Allegan, or Mahi, or Nemean. If anything, they put me in mind of the calculations of the South Sea Islanders, but...
Oh, then... like the things you'd see on, like, oh, because a friend of mine and I just finished Allo Allo. So this is sort of like what you'd see in that, what we saw in some of the, some of Allo Allo then. Maybe? Was that South Sea? I think it was. Maybe I'm not. Maybe not, but I think it was.
Seven hells! What did you do?
Nothing.
An earthquake?
I really thought an alien planet or alien, like a port to an alien planet was more likely than a reflection, but...
None of this has ever happened before.
Pretty wild stuff. Can you imagine?
Nay, this is different.
Imagine being there and just seeing this unfold before you. And this is a reflection Lala coming through. Maybe they'll call her a gnome with a bait. This is where... But she, like, so Kryl is from Tronland. Look at that little bean. Carrying a big old caterpillar. Are they angry? Is that person like, get back here? Or are they saying like, run while you can? I don't know. He's certainly not chasing after her. Oh, never mind. They see, maybe their best guess is they're fleeing from something horrifying. Take this, please. Keep it safe, sort of thing.
Baby? Now hold on. Why would you?
Hourglass? Is that an hourglass?
Now what's
No.
this?
What is this? Who are you?
So they're not. It's not like a silent film where they're actually not saying anything. Back in they go. Was the kid going to be a sacrifice? Was she going to be? Was she going to be a sacrifice and they had to save her? There's a million possibilities here. Sorry, my eye is irritated, so apologies for that.
Never opened again. Galuf continued to study the gate for years after that, hoping to learn something of value. All he could conclude was that it was built with unknown technology, and that it led to another world, one apart from the Void.
Yeah, so presumably not the first, not the 13th.
We'd assumed the ruins themselves
Definitely not
were
the
Golden
first.
City, only to discover that the real prize actually lay beyond the gate, and beyond our reach. Couldn't make head nor tail of the artifact either.
Almost like a frozen lava lamp or something.
As it had similar properties to the black stone in the ruins, we were convinced it was important. So Galuf Ja took it to the palace.
Well, not just because it has properties similar to the black stone. It's because two Lalafels from another dimension came out to give it and their baby with you, presumably of comparable importance. Like, they chose two things to give to you. It was a baby and it was that thing.
Galuf, meanwhile, took the baby with him back to Charlian and raised her as his own.
Then the child was...
The earring inside the letter to my grandfather.
So she knew this from the time...
Found amongst my swaddling clothes.
She knew this from the time that she read the letter. It was in the letter, I guess?
If this is true, then it means that you hail from another reflection.
So it would seem. I still struggle to take it all in myself. Looking back, Grandfather was always quick to seek distractions whenever I broached the subject. But never would I have guessed anything like this.
You and me both.
But enough about me. We have more pressing matters.
The forces that assailed Tuliyola. You suspect they are somehow connected to the Golden...
Sorry, again, I don't know, I'm trigger happy today.
Looking back on it, the soldiers look like they could have been made from the same black stone.
I guess.
And leading them was Zoraal Ja. His involvement also lends weight to the theory. On the day of the succession ceremony, a bandit took me unawares and knocked me out. When I came to, I found my home turned upside down, with a few particular items missing.
The artifact, I'm guessing, part of it.
Namely the keystones I was entrusted with, from my role as Watcher of the Gate.
The bandits?
Oh, it was
You
Zoraal,
believe
of
that
course.
it was-
Yeah, I remember from the other session now. I'm being a dunkus.
I only got a glimpse of him, but I was a blue-scaled Hubigo.
Or not Zoraal, it was
no other.
the guy who's dead now, the aide.
The artifact stored at the
Or maybe, I
palace was
don't
also
remember which of
stolen.
them, but one of them.
The thief struck during the ceremony, and the guard was spread thin.
Actually, it was probably Zoraal Ja, because if they took him by surprise, they probably had more combat ability than the aide had.
So our assumption is Zoraal Ja somehow opened that gate to another reflection, where he acquired advanced technology and his mechanical army.
It fits. And if he did, then it's also likely that the dome is a product of this unknown reflection.
I mean, it's got to be like the realm of thunder, like the reflection that's overwhelmed by thunder, or it could be because there's some reflections that aren't overwhelmed by anything. So it may just be one of those.
Hold on. We've been going on and on about the reflections, but what of my home? What's become of it?
And actually, no, never mind. The reflections that were absorbed already are just totally gone. I don't remember if thunder was one of those that's totally gone. I guess it wouldn't be a thunder realm at that point anymore. It would just be a regular realm. It would only be like thundery if... No, it could be thundery if it's being tipped that way, but it's no longer being... It's no longer being tipped that way, but maybe... No, it could still be like a thunder-aligned world if it was being worked on, but just never made it. I don't remember. I'm really bad with the, like the arcana of the realms and the reflections and all that, so please, feel free to correct me if I'm misremembering a lot of this, which I probably am. All right, looks like a job for the... No, we're going to find out. The Scions are retired, technically. We're just a bunch of friends, just a bunch of gals being pals.
Where it concerns other realities, I dare say the Scions are best suited to tackle the task.
Never mind, we're the Scions.
You can say that again. We've been to the literal edge of existence. Some mysterious giant dome shouldn't scare us.
As you know, our order has ostensibly disbanded. We'd thank you to be discreet about our unofficial reunion.
Huh. Worry not. We'll spare no effort to get to the bottom of this. And with our hero eager to help, you can be confident of the results.
I'm coming with you. If that's where my brother is, then that's where I must go.
There you go.
I can't say I understand everything you're discussing, but I know what I have to do. I have to put a stop to Zoraal Ja and restore the people's happiness.
Suffice it to say, I share Lamachi's desire to join you. However, under these circumstances, it would be unwise for both vows to be absent from the city.
That's a really good way to put it. I didn't think of that, and I agree.
As such, I shall remain in Tuliyola. Come what may, I will protect our nation. So go forth, sister, and do what you must.
Thank you.
Vow of Resolve stays behind.
It
Vow
may be
of
prudent for us to likewise divide our forces. While
Reason
one group
stays behind.
ventures into
Resolve's
the dome,
going.
The other keeps guard without.
Agreed.
Sounds like a dungeon.
There's something I wish to investigate out here, so I will remain.
What do you want to investigate
I as
out
well.
here?
The enemy's warships still loom overhead, and I would see that we're prepared for the worst.
I wish to go to the dome. As a student, I have an obligation to investigate this potential threat to the world. But I'd be lying if I said I'm not deathly curious about my origins. If there's aught to be learned, then I want to learn it.
Totally fair.
In that case, please let me come too.
It's your home.
I have to see what's become of my home. I may not be a fighter, but I know those lands like the back of my hand. I can guide you.
If you hadn't offered, I would have asked. We're counting on you.
I'm not one for waiting around, so if it's all the same to you, I'll join the dome crew.
You should accompany them, Graha. I expect your knowledge and experience will be useful. In the meantime, I intend to learn what I can about the gate, and will keep you apprised of my findings.
You are the
Pray
gate.
you do the same.
You're like the gate master, the gate mistress. So
Assuming communication is possible from inside the dome, we'll maintain contact and share any developments.
It seems our teams are assembled. A fine roster, I think.
Looks good to me. We'll find a way to deal with the threat. For the sake of Tural.
It's truly heartening to have you at our side for this. Thank you, everyone. Now, before we set off, there's one thing I need to do. The people are still shaken by the attack, and I'd like to reassure them as best I can.
important as a new leader. The Avengers are reassembling. I know what I have to do now. You have to pick up the pieces. Up. Together as one. Before investigating the dome, Wuklamant wishes to see to one important matter. Before giving me an Acacia footgear coffer. I know we're in a hurry to set off, but before we do, I need to address my people. The peace we swore to uphold has been shattered. They need to understand what has happened and how we intend to fix it. So I want to call an assembly at the Winged Walk and assure them all that all will be well. But as shaken as they are, I don't know how many will come. It's those who are most distressed who need to hear your words. If you like, I shall seek out such souls and encourage them to attend. Alizé, I'll help too. This is an important step in the city's recovery. Care to join us, Kakushu? Yeah, I am in. My cat woke up. Kryl, while you handle that, Erenville and I will see to provisions for the expedition. Wook, thank you. I'll go ahead and have the Landsguard announce the address. People must first know there's going to be one before they can decide whether or not they want to hear it. If you could see to the Resplendent Quarter and Bayside Bevy, Alizé and I will split the rest of the city between us. Pigeon's being a good boy. Okay. Let's talk to some distressed citizens. Let's de-stress them. Dumbfounded farmer. Till Yolal falls to the enemy, what will happen to us, our homes, to our farms, to everything we've worked so hard to build? Lives and communities and histories all reduced to ash by these merciless villains. I heard Val Wuklamad is planning to address the people, but what's the point? What can she and her brother possibly have to say? I like your hat, dumbfounded farmer. I really like your hat. Look at the little petal things coming out of it. Really? The Dawn Servants have a plan already. They've lost so much, yet they're prepared to carry on. And standing around worrying about what's to come will change nothing. It would be a lie to say I'm hopeful for the future, but I will go hear what they have intended to. I feel the same way sometimes. Not super hopeful, but better something, or even being informed is better than nothing. Level-headed resident. I still can't believe we were attacked. For a mercy, my family was spared. I don't know what I would have done had they come to harm. I understand Vows Speech is going to make an address soon. I'll be there, of course. Does not need to be persuaded. So we only need to... This person's not distressed. We only need to persuade the distressed ones. So they did not get sorrowful citizen. Perfect. Look at this. This is the face of someone that's going to count for my quest. Look at that juicy tears. Give me that. Please, leave me be. My father is gone. Leave me to mourn. Galuf Ja is slain? And Vows Speech and Valkona still fight for our nation, yet Valkona and Vows Speech will still fight for our nation, for us. Very well. If they would speak, the least I can do is listen. And then cheerful resident. Checking on everyone, are you? The city's definitely seen better days, but we can only spare so much time for mourning. Only by looking to the future can we overcome this crisis, and we'll all need to do our part. Yeah, so you're useless. I don't care about you. Let's find some really shattered and broken people. Thank God the alpacas are alive. Oh, this one's unhappy. Or maybe they're just sleeping. I don't know how to interpret alpaca sounds. Despairing, yes, alpaca herder. It's not safe here, not anymore. I could try to leave Zoraal, but where else is there to go? You look like the well-traveled sort. Please, I can't stay here, but I fear nowhere in Zoraal is beyond the enemy's reach. What are the lands across the Salt? Probably not great. I mean, if the aliens invade, I mean, well, we would do okay. We do better there than here, but yeah. I know. Even if I ran, I know I'd regret it in the end. I love Zoraal. This is my home. And I know the Dawn servants would give their lives to defend her. I will put my faith in them and listen to what they have to say. Oh, more distressed citizens. Let's find more despair. Stockpiling, citizen. You look like you're doing okay. I need to stock up food and medicine as much as I can. Yeah, you're probably doing all right. Sorry, Miss Memtisi. Too much to do in too little time. No telling when the stone men will return. Why are they calling them stone men? It's such a, like, nothing about them defines them as stone for me. Like, metal men. So, sure, stone men is just... Am I misunderstanding it? Vows Speech wants to speak to us. Perhaps she has a plan. I suppose there's no harm in hearing what she has to say. Alright, yeah, you needed a little bit persuading. Good. Resting resident. Cleaning up is tiring work. You've been busy helping as well, I'm guessing? Right now it's tough for everyone, but Tuliyola won't succumb to this. With the new Dawn servants to protect and lead us, we'll get through this together. Yeah, you're going anyway? Paranoid resident. Like a little emotional vampire waddling around here. I can't leave now. What if the soldiers come back? And what are those strange machines looming overhead? Gods, I have so many questions. I see. It would put my mind at ease to learn something, anything, of the threat we face. All right, I'll go to the winged walk. Thanks, I feel better already, and likely better still once I hear what the Dawn servants have to say. I'm even going to skip the composed merchant, because I don't give a shit about them. Let's find someone really broken. Flustered citizen. There we go. Whatever it is, I don't have time. I have to finish repairing this cart. There's only so much I can carry on my back. When those hollow devils come again, I need to be ready. Vow, Lamont, and Kona mean well, but they're young and inexperienced. They could barely look after themselves. If we're to survive, I don't know if we can count on them. A totally fair response. I don't blame you. They're going to strike back at the enemy, so they're resolved to face this. Maybe it's too early to be thinking of running. All right, I'll go and hear what their address. Again, extremely fair concern. Extremely fair. It looks like you've brought quite a few people. Thank you. Alice actually had returned ahead of you, but upon hearing you were still out there, she decided she was unsatisfied with her own efforts and left again. Little competition. A little competition rarely hurts most people, I'll say. My apologies for involving you all in Tirali affairs. This was going to become our affair very soon after this, if nothing happened and the invasion was successful. Remember who Zoraal Ja is, what his goals are. We are simply helping dear friends in need. Having traveled the lands of Tiral, we are sharing in their rich cultures of your people. We can see it no other way. What's more, Zoraal Ja and his army pose a threat not only to Tiral, but the star as a whole. We will stand with you to protect what you hold dear. Thank you. Yeah, both those things are true. I don't expect you've had much, if any, rest. How are you holding up? I'm fine, thanks. Thanks to a little encouragement from Kukushu. You needn't worry about me either. Thanks for asking. Whatever weariness I feel is no match for my desire to protect my people. We will restore peace to the nation and preserve our father's legacy. And it begins by speaking to the people from our hearts. Right. Yeah, you be honest with them. You don't cover up, there's no need to. Any panic you might avert by sugarcoating it is destroyed by the lack of trust and the lack of accurate information and not letting them make their own choices. We need to see a few things first, but feel free to go on ahead to the plaza and wait. Their father raised them well. Ishtola. Raha, that he did. Galuf Ja was a exceptionally unusually good leader. Look at the turnout. Pigeon is back asleep again, FYI.
Namachi, are you all right?
Yes. Don't worry.
She's resolved, one
I'm
might
ready
say.
for it. The fear, and sadness, and anger.
She really is resolved. Look at the look in her eyes.
I am the reason to your resolve. But more than that, I am your brother. You needn't bear this burden alone. Remember this.
That's right. Remember your character arc.
As you likely already know, my father, our former Dawn servant, lost his life in the recent attack. He
He was
challenged
beloved.
the enemy leader to a duel and fought with skill and valor. And for a moment, we believed he had won. But wielding an unknown power, his foe returned from death and struck him down.
Are you going to share that, like, publicly, that this was Zoraal Ja, or everyone already knows? Because you're dancing around that with his
I
foe.
watched as this happened. I could not tarnish my father's honor by interfering.
That was a mistake. And one we called at the time. But one I don't blame you entirely
Many
for.
of you
Understandable
have
mistake.
suffered terribly. You've taken wounds. You've lost friends and family. As vow of resolve, I failed in my duty to protect you. Words can't express the shame and regret I feel.
I'm tearing up, but this time it's
Much
actually because I'm
as
tired.
It pains me to reveal this. The enemy leader was none other than my brother Zoraal Ja.
There you go.
Zoraal Ja?
So it
It's
wasn't...
true. I saw him.
Yeah, it was a rumor, but nothing confirmed until now.
We believe he staged the attack from Yasulani, which has been encased within a mysterious dome. I know that you're concerned for your loved ones there as well. But mark my words, I won't let Zoraal Ja torment us any further. Our father gave his life to protect our nation, and I'm prepared to do the same.
You say that, but those metal monstrosities are still up there in the sky. What are you going to do about them?
They almost look like the Void Ark, don't they? I don't think there's any connection. Just the color scheme, the vibe of
The enemy
them.
is still on our doorstep, and waiting for them to strike again accomplishes nothing. That's why we're going to strike first. We are going to take the battle straight to Zoraal Ja and put an end to it all.
Now, after hearing this, I wouldn't blame anyone in the crowd for deciding at this point to just run, because the idea of like a few top people like taking to the soaring battleships in the sky and beating them, it sounds, if they didn't know, if I were hearing this in the crowd and this was like, I don't know, a generic like president, assume one that I'm not specifically invested in one way or the other, and they said that me and my friends or you know, the leader of our town, really, a strong warrior even, like someone I trusted generally, said they were going to go up there and take the fight to them with like a party, I'm out.
And while my sister sallies forth, I will take charge of the city's defenses. Not another soul will come to harm. We swear to you.
Like our father before us, we will lead with resolve and reason to restore peace to our nation. So please, have patience and faith.
This is the voice you need supporting you.
Goes on the attack, while reason shores up the defenses. Sounds like a fine plan.
Not forgiving you unleashing Valag Armando, but I like where you're going.
Needless to say, you can count on my sword. Dural's my home, and I'll do my part for it.
That is a huge boon to the defense.
Hear, hear, brother.
I think they were the only people to like really to put the smack down on a bunch of the attacking soldiers, weren't they?
That makes two of us.
Some of the
or was that two of we? Never mind that.
us. Of me, of two of us. No, it's definitely of us.
What of the rest of you? Will you let others do the work? or will you do your part and fight?
Leading from the front.
We fight! We fight! We're Tuliolans because we're united! We'll stand with you and weather this storm!
That smile, that bird smile, I love it.
He's right. This is our nation, and it falls to us to protect it.
We'll fight too! For Tuliolal!
Me too! Me too!
We're all together in this!
Successful meeting. She's good. She is good as heck.
Everyone.
So is he. So is Kona.
Thank you.
Both are
We've
doing.
already learned much about our foe, and we will continue to learn more. In time, we will have the means to make their warships fall from the sky. When we join hands with our countrymen and our allies from afar, we're stronger than we dare to hope.
You're promising a lot, but I like where your head's
Together,
at again.
Let us show the enemy the might of Tuliolal.
And maybe you have to do this as a leader at this time. I think you probably have to. Like, you'd be honest, but you'd be optimistic. Or positive, maybe. I don't know.
You are the beating heart of our nation. Each and every one of you. Uncertain days lie ahead, but for now, I ask you to persevere, to go about your lives as you always do. Only then can we ensure we have the resources to see our nation through these trials. And when the time comes, we will strike. Tuliyola will not fall. We will prevail, and peace and happiness will be ours again.
Well said, President Kitty. She's a really good speaker. Speaking of President Kitty, he just left. Listening to Wuklamot and Kona, I was reminded of my time in the First. Hey, Graha. While the Exarch was no king, I often found myself speaking before the people of the Crystarium in like manner, and through their deeds they answered me. The people of Tural too will rise to the occasion, this I can tell. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah! I think I'm going to do one more quest for today. In Yasulandi's Shadow, I don't know, actually. Never mind, this feels... It's pretty late, and so I might actually just call it here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to call it here for today. I just saw this name. I thought there was going to be another that's, like, in this area. If it's called in Yasulandi's Shadow, that's probably going to start the next part. So, you know what we'll do? We'll finish today by seeing if we can collect another triple Triad card from Bright Plume Post. See what we get. Fallen Ace is working in my favor. Oshan is about to take over Ultima. Oh, and I forgot about Plus. Oh, no, I forgot about Plus! Dang it. There we go. Galuf Ja card. Ignorance begets strife. Understanding begets fellowship. A fair tribute to the man. The men? The man? I don't know. Still not quite. Or the lizards? I don't know how we are supposed to refer singular or plural, but I think it's singular. Especially because we only really knew the vow of resolve. And oh, the vow of reason doesn't really even get in on the card. They're just kind of shunted off to the side. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this as they come out, and I'll see you next time as we head towards the place whose name I can't remember, Thunderdome. Bye-bye.